Welcome back guys, GTS Garage. Today we are going to put the brake cables on, and I was thinking about the exhaust studs, but to be honest I think I'm going to leave them off for now because they're not quite ready to nip that up. So I don't want to put the new studs on, tighten it all down and then untighten it all up when I put the end pipe on, because I just done. So I reckon it's time to start the bike. So let me put the camera out and then we will give it a spin. Okay guys, success. So she starts and she sounds really nice. I love the way the bike sounds. Okay guys, the first step is going to be remove the old hoses. So as we already discussed, I've got one single hose coming from the master cylinder, comes down and then goes to the right hand side, and then I've got a connecting tube from the right to the left. That's all going to come off. Now there is going to be brake fluid in there, so the first step of this is to remove that brake fluid, drain it away safely and dispose of it safely. We will then be putting on these. Now these are just basically Hell cables, Hell Performance Brake Line kit. You buy them in kits. I gave the phone call to the guy, I phoned the guy up because this is an FZR conversion. So this has got an FZR front end and a back end. It's just the middle bit that is the XJ600. Now if you buy the FZR brake kit for this, you're going to end up with the wrong length. So the length that you need on this is the 32. That comes down to the right hand side, and you need the 34 inch to go to the left hand side. Now the FZR ones I think are about 26, so you really do need to make sure you are aware of that before you buy, because obviously if you buy them the wrong length they're not going to fit. Okay guys, first job is to drain the old brake fluid. So before we take off the banjo at the front, we're going to disconnect the retaining bolt there, so you can see that actually puts it onto the lower yoke to keep the cable out. So we're going to need to disconnect this, then we can disconnect this, and then ultimately it'll end up in this jar here. I always do that, but in this jar here. So let's crack on. Okay, next step is to release the banjo bolt at the top here and take and lower the hose all the way down to the bottom. Okay, luckily it is. So we're now just going to take the entire hose, feed it through while keeping it up. Take the washers off, take those, and then just feed it through and keeping the, let's just disconnect the hose, there you go. Looking out, watching the height, and just take it down and feed it through and let it empty into there if there is any. Okay guys, these are the cables attached that we've purchased. One's 32 inch, one's a 34 inch. And basically we've put them up in here, so they basically come with the full kit. So you get the banjo and all the crush washers you need for both this end and the caliper end. They're all in place now. We shall knit those up, but we're not going to tighten them fully. We're then going to route the cables through where they should be, and then we'll attach them to the calipers. And that's the point where we start to put some fluid in. Okay guys, when it comes to actually putting the Hell cables on, because they're a bit firmer, a bit stiffer, less flexible than a rubber hose obviously, you need to put the caliper side on first. So first of all, you get your cables routed, connect your calipers to both sides, then you come up and you fix up to the caliper bolt. If you don't do it that way, you tend to put it on wrong and you're unable to flex and twist, and basically you'll put additional strain on that cable straight from the off. So caliper side first, then chuck it up to your main master cylinder. As soon as I've done this part, I'll bring you in and then you can have a closer look at the setup. So all I'm doing now is taking the double banjo bolt, the first of the crush washers. So it's basically so it starts with the crush washer, goes to the first cable, second crush washer, second crush washer, second cable, third crush washer, then into the, let's see if that, I've got that, that's it. Alright, so that, I believe, I'm wondering if that is the right location for it, or I should have those outside. Whoa, let's leave it where it is at the moment. Let's leave that where it is at the moment. Right, so I think that is it. So let me just bring you in. I don't like it there, so we're going to route it back out. So out it comes again. I've not crushed the washers, so there's nothing wrong with them. Before those that say, oh, you need new washers. No, I don't. I've not nipped it up, so I've not crushed them. What I'm doing is just changing the position of the cables because they're on the inside of the accelerator cable. And I don't want them there. Okay, so let me just bring you in for what I've done. So basically, the banjo bolt up there, crush washers on all the sides. Can you see that? So what I'm going to do is put the boot back on there, and then it comes down through. Let me just dodgy videoing ship. Now I'm going to try and not do a shit job at the camera work, but you can see they come down. Let me just twist you quickly, because I'm still doing this on the tripod. So they then come down all the way through, and they terminate at the banjo. Now these haven't yet been nipped up, and I will do those next. So that's the next one. So basically that's one side. Let's see if I can get you on the other side. And I can't because the... Let's see if I can... Oh, look at the camera work. Look at the camera work, guys. And I think that is... Here we go. Can you see anything there? Okay, and hopefully you can see that's then comes down to there. I'm not sure what you're seeing, but I think... So basically that trails up and comes down. Okay guys, so the next step is once you've opened up the brake, or you've pulled the brake in, you've fixed that into a pull position, you've now opened those lines up. You take the pot off the top of your, you take the top off the pot, your caliper pot, and it should now be a straight air line all the way through. So what we're going to start with is a piece of tube, and we're going to start with a syringe. So what we're going to do is open the bleed nipple up. We're going to attach the tube to that, fill that with brake fluid, attach the tube to the brake nipple in an open position, and just start pushing the liquid through minus the air. Okay guys, that is all I'm going to do today. Unfortunately enough, the weather just seems to be really changeable. So we've had a couple of snowstorms out there, a couple of hailstorms out there, we've got rain out there, and we've got brilliant sunshine, so it's not quite sure what it's doing. And obviously I bought the other bike in, because every time I take it out, it then does something else. So I brought the bike in, so I haven't got a great deal of room here. So just a quick catch up with what I did. I've done the front brakes, or I've done the front brakes as far as I can. Now I say that, so I reverse bled, so I filled the calipers with brake fluid. I've then kind of then didn't get that much joy. Whilst I could hear air escaping out of there, I didn't get that much joy using the reverse bleed up to the master cylinder. So what I've done is I've gone back to the usual way. So basically I've filled the brakes up, or filled the calipers up, I filled the lines up, and then I've gone back to the old just pump the brakes and crack the bleed nipple, close the bleed nipple, release the brake. So I've gone through that as far as I can. The bubbles that are coming out of it are minute, but they're endless. They seem to be absolutely endless. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it overnight, and then I shall just pull the brakes, crack the bleed nipples, and hopefully the last of that air will come out. I do have a leak somewhere on those carbs. There is a strong smell of petrol, and you can see where she's leaked down on top of the engine. So she does have a leak, which needs to be addressed. So it looks like I am going to take the airbox off, take the carbs off, strip those down and clean them, and buy a rebuild kit. So I think that is it. I think we're going to call it a day there, because as I said, I keep putting the bike out, bringing the bike back in, and every time it pours down with rain. So I think we are there. That's all I'm going to do today, and hopefully what I'll do, the next video will be just show you the brakes work, take her off the ramp, get out of the brakes backwards and forwards, take the airbox off, take the carbs off, and I reckon that's where we'll start next time. You take it easy, ride safe, especially in this bloody weather.